Hello, welcome to the Caps Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb, and tonight we'll have members of the Caps joining us, as always, as we talk topics concerning the paranormal and answer all the questions that you may have for a whole hour. Without further ado, I present the Caps team. How you doing, Brandon? Heather, how you doing?
What's up?
And Alex, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me all right?
Yep, I can
Yep.
hear you.
All right. Sweet. New Year
Sorry,
comes.
we're
Just
a
wanted to
little
make
late.
sure.
We're a little late today, as we have a storm took out the Wi-Fi, so we were on and then got disconnected, but we're here. All right, so now I'm confused now. I'm lost because had all that happened, so I didn't have much set up. All right. I don't know why it sounds like that. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. I have a question we're gonna talk about today. I only got one topic down, but people, I just saw this something not too long ago. But do you think more people investigate more as a hobby or as trying to make it a career, or do you think it's a little bit of both? What do you think's more popular?
Personally, I'd probably say more as a hobby.
Yeah, as a hobby, I agree.
Yeah, I definitely
Brandon,
agree with that too. I definitely think it's more of a hobby than making a career out of it.
Yeah, I definitely. You look at all the groups that are just people themselves too. Like they'll go out and just grab a little bit of equipment or whatever, and just go do it for fun here and there. Not many people really form teams. Really, there's a lot of people that are interested in the paranormal that just go out by themselves or with their partner or whatever. They go out and do that. So I definitely think I agree. Definitely more as a hobby than trying to make a career out of it. Very many people that do have teams and all that. Well, we are Wednesday. Wednesday's over with now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the work part's over with.
I still got 4 hours left.
That says hobbies. How many teams you think investigate and hopes to become famous?
I think it'd be cool if you could
Investigate and hope.
change it into a career, but there's a lot of teams out there, and I think that'd be kind of
Sure,
hard to do.
yeah. Personally, we do it kind of a little bit of both. This is something we all love and make it a hobby, and it's also we try to make a career out of it as well, and want to make some money out of this as well down the road. The one thing I will say though is we'll never charge clients. We'll make our money and other things, doing events and other stuff like that. Our investigations and helping out clients will always be free. But yeah, I think there could be a lot of it too, Scott. I think some people may not even. I think some people maybe twist some of the stuff maybe a little bit. Like they'll add more stuff that maybe didn't really happen to try to become famous and all that. And I think a lot of people too are quick to say, "Oh my God, it was paranormal," and it's probably you could probably debunk it real easy. So I definitely think for sure a lot of people investigate and hope to try to become famous, and I think that's kind of with everything too. Anything that people do, I think a lot of people do it to become famous. I mean, you look at the people that are on YouTube, and it's like, oh, wow. But yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people do it to try to become famous. I definitely think some people, not everybody, but I think some people, there's some people out there that will stage some stuff, I think, try to get more views or whatever. That's my thought on that, Scott. Anyone else want to add input?
Yeah,
I think you're trying to get. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So my thing is, I definitely think people do it in hopes of becoming famous. I'm kind of the person that believes, do it as a hobby. Show me that you like doing it. Show me that you're not gonna fake evidence. And then if it becomes a career in the future, you're already enjoying it. So at that point, you know, you're pretty much set.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, back last April, I didn't start this to I mean, yes, it would be nice to become famous, but I didn't start it only because I wanted to become famous or something. I started this because this is something I love, and I enjoy doing this, and I want to help other people and educate them in the paranormal. And yeah, if we become famous, I definitely wouldn't turn down like TV offers or stuff like that. Definitely that's a goal of mine, but like I said, I'm not gonna stop doing it if it doesn't happen, and like, you know, that's definitely not why I do it.
Exactly. And so, I feel like everybody on the team also feels that way. Like I'd like to call us a family. That's how I feel. Like, we're very open-minded. We aren't constantly pushing it to be like, hey, we're gonna be famous. We're literally there because we want to help people. And that's kind of how we all became, you know, a team. Like, we all have an interest in paranormal. Not really looking to become famous, but hey, if it happens, it happens. Either way, like, we're having fun. To me, that's what matters the most.
And that's another thing, to add on to what you said. A good thing too is that everyone on the team, we all kind of have the same idea on that kind of point. I think, like, we kind of all agree that we're not here to become famous or all that. And I think that's also a big part in paranormal teams. I think you have to have that. You kind of have to kind of be able to relate with your team in ways like that. And kind of both have the same idea. If one person is doing it because they want to become famous and others aren't, I don't think, I mean, you know, I'm not saying that they're wrong for saying that they want to do it to become famous. I mean, definitely if that's what you want to do, but I think if there's two sides of it and you're on the same team, that may not work out. So I'm glad that we all kind of have the same, that we all kind of agree on that. Alex, now what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you know, like, being in the right mindset, you know, like I would say, you know, resume people like us, it's not that we would like to necessarily be famous, but we would like to become an authority on the subject. We want to have enough experience and interaction with this field where we know what we're talking about. We're confident. We know for sure that, like, yeah, no, we've been there. We saw this happen. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, we achieved what we sought out to do and continue to do so.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Like, and that's why our team together has studied so much. And that's because we want to be educated in the paranormal. Again, I think too, if you're more on the side of doing it to become famous, maybe you don't put as much care into it. You're only doing it to become famous. But when you have groups that are more, they're into it because it's a hobby, it's a passion for them. They love doing it. They want to help people out, and they always want to learn more, and they want to educate themselves more, because there's so much to learn about the paranormal that no one out there knows everything there is about paranormal. There's always something to learn, and so every day we're learning something new as a team, and so I think for sure, like, everyone wants to. We're always hungry to learn more and educate ourselves in the paranormal, so we can help other people, because that's what you're talking about, to be able to help other people. Anyone got anything to add on that anymore?
No, I just want to kind of point out what Scott said about there being teams on, you know, social media that are making money.
So we're getting to that one.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually a very good point. But in my personal opinion, and then this, like I said, this is just coming from me as, you know, a person who has watch the bigger name shows, and I'm also very invested in like YouTube series, for instance. I feel like a company or a group that is not pushed or backed by a big term company like Travel Channel, for instance, they kind of bring more to the table, in my opinion, because they're not stuck on like contracts. They're not stuck on what they have to like actually cut from their video to make it into the show. So that's actually a really good point.
It just seems more honest that way.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, yeah, I agree with what you said there, and I said, yeah. So I just had to refresh myself on what the question was. Yeah, making an income, that's definitely something that we'd all be interested in doing down the road. We've talked about it as a team, but there's certain ways to do that, I think, to make an income, which would be like social media and setting up different events and stuff. But we, as a group, personally, won't ever charge our clients to investigate. If they need help, again, we're here to help our clients. So that's definitely free of charge. And we want to make our money through different events, setting up different events, maybe down the road being like, guest speakers, and we have a Paracon that we're planning, and stuff like that we want to do that can kind of to make an income. So I agree with you, Scott, that making an income through social media is actually a good idea if you're able to do that. Looking at you, Zach. Yeah, she said that earlier when we were he or she, I'm not sure, says Grub 175.
I think that's my my buddy Brady, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. He was saying that when we were talking about just doing it to be famous. So I just didn't get it popped up there. So yeah, let's take a minute off that now, and I want to let everyone know that today is my mother's birthday today, Heather's birthday. Our case manager.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I sent her a message at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I felt bad.
Yeah, I stayed up to say happy birthday to her last night at midnight, and then went to bed so I'd be up again at 7 at 6 for work, 6:30. And then I said it like 4 more times today, and I pulled a little prank on her. I'm in the fire department. For our viewers who didn't know, I know many of you guys know. And I made a little group chat with all of the members in the fire department. And I told them, because she doesn't have their numbers. So I was like, text her mom. I was like, tell her happy birthday. And all that. And they did. So she had a bunch of random numbers texting her. She's like, why am I getting all these random numbers texting me happy birthday? And so.
Wait, which fire department did you join?
I'm in the Gary Volunteer Fire Department. Scott says, happy birthday, Heather. I know she's I think doing hair, doing my sister's hair right now. So I don't think she's on right now, but I'm sure she'll see that. Thank you, Scott. Yep, the Gary Fire Department, Alex. Not sure if you heard me.
I was wondering, 2 of my new coworkers. I know one of them is an active firefighter, and I'm not sure if the other one is active or used to be a firefighter. But I don't know if you're at the same ones. I was gonna see if you knew them or something.
Wait, what's that?
I was gonna see if maybe you knew them or something, but I don't think you're at the same fire department as them.
No, but what I do know a lot of firemen though. What department are they from?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
One is named Dylan, and the other is named Kane.
But the other one's name is what?
Kane, like Kane, or Kain.
Dylan definitely sounds familiar. But there's a lot of Dylans out there, so who knows if it's.
Yeah.
I probably know a couple different Dylans that are in the fire departments in our surrounding area, but yeah, I'm not Not exactly sure unless I had a last name or I knew a department, but that's cool. I may know them though. Scott, if you're still on, I wanted to show you. I was playing around with overlays since you were making some for us, and unfortunately they don't work. That's one that Scott made. That's one, and that's one. So they're really cool, but unfortunately you can't see us. But I made this one. I was just playing around. It looks horrible compared to the ones Scott made, but I was able to get it where you can actually see through it, but it's just in the middle. It's not over there, but so I just want to show you that, Scott. I kind of figured it out a little bit. We're working on it.
I'm back. Thank you for the birthday wishes.
Scott, Heather said thank you for the birthday wishes. Not happy birthday. It's not your birthday anymore. You probably don't want it to be. You're getting old, Scott.
Nothing wrong with getting old. It just means you have more wisdom.
Heather, do you have anything to add about the becoming famous topic that we're on a little bit ago?
No, I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page as everybody else. I'm glad that our team is kind of in the same spot as far as that. I do think as more we investigate, it makes me question more of these like shows and stuff that you see on TV to see, is it really real? Because you don't find stuff at every investigation like a lot of these shows do. And I know they probably don't show the ones that, were flops or whatever, but it does make me question more, like how real is some of this stuff? Because as you're out there doing it, you kind of see that, sometimes you're disappointed. You don't find stuff.
Agree. I wonder that a lot too when I watch some of these shows. Some in particular, but we won't mention any names. And I mean, it's just like encounter after encounter after encounter. I mean, and they're it's so active all night long, and it's not like one investigates every single one. It's like, I don't know, and we've now investigated for a while, and we barely.
It'd be nice if they showed some duds.
Like, hey, I'm here. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry. It would be nice if they showed a couple of duds, like where they didn't find anything, or like kind of like inconclusive. Like, because like it kind of keeps it up in the air. Like it kind of gives it its own like. I don't want to say suspense, so but toy around that word with a thesaurus and like.
Right.
Just a little bit more. You're hopeful. You're hoping.
Right, and I get that too. And I understand why they don't do that. Because it is a TV show and it's supposed to be entertaining. People are supposed to, want to watch it. So I get why they don't want to put the flops out there. Because I mean, who really wants to watch an episode of people investigating and just nothing's happening? But at the same time, I also agree with you where you should kind of show that, even if you show like I don't know, during an episode or something, or you talk about those, or you kind of like show highlights of that or something. Maybe not the full 40-minute or an hour episode that some of those shows have, but maybe I think they should definitely include those for sure.
I think it could work. Yeah. I just want to point out that Scooby-Doo debunked like 99% of their stuff, and they've been going for decades.
Mm-hmm. Brandon, what were you gonna say?
I agree with that too. I think as for the ghost hunting shows that are on TV right now, they definitely need to kind of put a more realistic nature to it, because you're not gonna find something every single time you go out. There's just no way. Right. I mean, I understand that like some of the shows, especially some of the ones that got canceled, which I'm still kind of whatever to that. Like I know some of them are going to YouTube. If you know about that, cool. But they always made it a point to say like, this is footage from like 3 days. It wasn't just one night or like 4 hours or 5 hours. Right. They're like, this is footage that we got within like the whole span of 3 days, kind of put together in like a 40-minute show. So I feel like that's a decent thing because they're still putting in like, hey, we didn't see anything on the first day, but here's the second day. Like to me, I feel like that's more realistic, and especially for people that are just starting out. Like you guys, you got to be aware you're not always gonna get something. Go start work on your time.
Right.
I like that idea. Yeah.
And oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. To add to that,
I definitely agree with what Brandon was saying. Like, obviously, these investigations, some of these shows that they're doing are like 3 days long. So, of course, yeah, they're going to find a little more than you're doing a 4-hour investigation. And they obviously make their episode of the stuff that they found. And on the other side, it's kind of cool too when you do see stuff like our Wildwood, and when we saw the TV show that they went there, had some of the similar occurrences, which was kind of cool too. They give that validation.
And I remember what I was going to say now. So you were talking about like how it doesn't happen every investigation. I did also want to mention too that a lot of these shows too, it's not every investigation that they show, because certain ones they have like that go on TV, and then certain ones that are like private, residentials, or even some businesses that don't want it on there. They have certain episodes that are set up to go on TV, and others that are not. Some of them are like months apart, but still, I mean, it's just the way it's set up. You can kind of tell that it maybe twisted a little bit. But so I agree with what you were saying, Brandon. And then Gremlin75 said, Ghost Tech Paranormal has episodes like that. They're a good team from the UK. Cool. Where can I watch them? Are they on like YouTube, Discovery? I don't think I've heard of them. Ghost Tech Paranormal.
I want to say YouTube because they do sound familiar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, because it sounds like it would be. I haven't seen them on Discovery, but I could have missed it. We can check that out. Hey, Alex, have you heard of Ghost Tech Paranormal?
I feel like I've heard of them, but I haven't watched any of their stuff personally.
Yep. So we figured it out. Gremlin said they're on YouTube. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I will check them out. Gremlin Paranormal.
Yeah, that was one thing I also wanted to say is YouTube is very, very good for setting up just paranormal stuff where you're not kind of stuck on what you can and can't show. Like, you can make your episode as long as you want.
Right, because it's your channel.
Correct.
It's not like something you don't have to follow by certain rules, followed by the standards. Yeah. That's why we have a YouTube channel. We just got to get some stuff up on there, and figure out what we want on there, what we don't, and all that kind of stuff. So, and go through what investigations that are allowed to go on there, do the contract status and all that. I agree. Yeah, YouTube does.
The Final Cut Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. YouTube does. It allows you to do kind of whatever, which is cool. Gremlin, I wrote that down. I wrote Ghost Tech Paranormal down. I'll check that out either later or tomorrow.
So I got a couple questions for you guys and chat
Perfect.
too. So, what are some shows that you guys watch right now? Like, are you invested? Obviously, we know one. Like, I really don't want to mention it because we kind of got into it last time we were on. But I know that Caleb and I are really big Ghost Hunter fans. Not entirely sure what Alex watches, so feel free to give us some if you want.
Honestly, I don't really watch too much of it. Like, when I can, and like when I have somebody who's willing, I'd like to go do it myself personally. Like I've seen a good bit, but I'll be honest, I don't really keep track of like who's producing it. I just like to watch the footage and see what I see for myself.
Perfect.
Right.
Yep.
I mean to. I just, especially like right now, I'm at work. I go to the grocery store. I come home. I fall asleep.
Right. Do you usually watch? Do you usually find yourself watching more on like YouTube or like on actual TV? I know you said you went through like just clips and stuff. You don't really look at who produced it, so you like.
Yeah, I usually go on YouTube. Yeah, because I like just like, on like for a TV show,
Right,
know,
going straight to-
they're already vetted, like companies are invested in them, and I'm more about like I like the one video that might have like 353 views on it, and just watch it for like 2 minutes and just think about it for a few minutes and read through the comments, see if anybody has any ideas or explanations, or if
Right.
there's like a follow-up video. Especially the ones that are happening like right now. Like I don't want to look up an episode from like 4 years ago. I want to try to find the stuff that's like new and recent, because that's way more
Right,
exciting to me.
Wait. That's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I'll be completely honest. Like the only people I really follow nowadays, other than like Ghost Hunters, for instance, is I was a very big BuzzFeed fan when they pulled out like BuzzFeed Supernatural, and they had like Ryan and Shane. I do like their chemistry simply because one is very into the paranormal, the other one is he's a very big skeptic. So when they get together, I don't agree with Shane's methods for some of them, but if you guys have time, I would definitely look at that. I do know that they left BuzzFeed and actually got their own company, and they're producing their own stuff on YouTube. And I believe Destination Fear is doing that now too. They are now Project Fear on YouTube.
Project Fear, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't agree with that. Like, and I know it's myself too. Like, I'll watch paranormal shows, and I don't agree with some of the methods or ways they go about it. But that's what's so cool about paranormal. Everyone can investigate differently, and you're not wrong. It's just everyone has their different beliefs on it and different ideas on it. And I like to kind of see, and I still have fun watching it. For example, I watch the shows I usually watch are Ghost Ventures or Ghost Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
I like the shows. But yes, I disagree and agree with some different methods that they do.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna make me stop watching them. That's just I won't use that, or I will, But I enjoy those shows. I have watched the Ghost Brothers a little bit. They're funny. I like them.
I love them. They also got canceled, so they're not even coming back.
Yeah. Yep.
So
was
that really sucked. And I did like because we were just talking about shows, but Jack Osborne's show Portals Hell was really good too. So.
Okay. Check that out. But like I support all the paranormal groups, whether I agree with how they run it or not. Like I said, you're not really ever wrong. Everyone has their different beliefs and ways of running a paranormal team. But I support all the groups, and I enjoy watching them all. I guess I couldn't really ever turn on a paranormal show and not like what I'm watching. So, you put one on, I will watch it, whether I've heard of it or not. I'll watch it and I'll be entertained in watching it too. Anyone else got anything to add to that? Mom, you didn't really mention what shows you like. I know you like Ghost Hunters. We watch it all the time. Anything else?
I don't know. I like to watch more of the ones where they try to debunk stuff rather than every little thing is paranormal. Which is also why I think like adding somebody who's kind of a skeptic to our team really balances out like the paranormal team, and you have somebody who's not always maybe to jump like where we might think something's paranormal. They're like, well, this could be this or whatever. I really like the teams that like to try to debunk stuff because, again, not everything is paranormal. And when you think everything is, that's kind of when you become like a joke, I feel like.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree. And that's one of the methods and different things that I disagree with what some groups do. And they don't really try to investigate to see what it could be. They're just like, oh my God, you hear that? Someone's walking, instead of, okay, well, maybe it's an old house, maybe the floor's cracking, or let's do this, let's test this, let's test that. So I agree with that as well.
And I kind of agree with Alex too. Since we've been investigating, I'd much rather do than watch. I can't really sit through a whole show anymore like I used to be able to. I would much rather be out there doing it myself than to watch it on TV.
Right.
So get somebody else to enjoy that.
Right. And
It's almost like I want to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say, like honestly, like I feel like I would rather just like waste my time online and like just watch people's like evidence clips. I don't care if they explain it or not. Just like show me a clip where something weird is happening and see if I can catch it.
Right.
Like, like you'll have some people who will give you like, oh, this This video was
Right, instead of
taken
watching
in
a full 40-minute
2013.
episode.
Yeah. Like, just show me the one part of the clip where you think you caught something. That's more entertaining. Plus, my ADHD
Yeah, I like that
loves
too.
that quickness of it.
Right, so watch the full 40-minute episode just to get that. Go right into the clip, find it on YouTube, find it somewhere, and watch it. I like that. And what I was gonna add too was me personally, I like watching them still too, but I do watch them differently as well. Like my sister, she can't really watch a full episode. Well, I can, and I watch it differently, as in I look to see what things we could use and what things we shouldn't use out of other teams using them, and I'll write them down or something, or jot them down, and then I will we'll use that or do that, like different things that people do, that other teams do and stuff that I really like. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. Let's use that. So I watch it that way now, and I never used to. I used to just watch it.
So you're watching more now, like as research, basically.
Right. Yep. So I do more research now and jot notes and all that. Brandon, do you feel that you watch it differently now that you're on a paranormal team? We investigate a lot.
Oh, for sure. I mean, honestly, I've always kind of looked at things differently, just because, like, I grew up kind of in an area that was haunted. Like, my first job, like my actual first job, was doing a ghost tour down in St. Pete, Florida. So, you know, once you're kind of involved in the paranormal or you have an experience, you just kind of start looking at it differently, regardless of if you're investigating or not investigating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, anytime something happens with my mom, she thinks that, you know, things fly away, or, you know, she'll put stuff in one area and the next, and, you know, she's seen stuff. I definitely think that something might be happening here simply because of what happened across the street from us.
That is you, right?
But anytime something like that happens, I'm always like, there's got to be a rational explanation for it. That's just how I am now, especially on the ghost hunts that we've done. Like, anytime that I can explain, or I feel like I can debunk it by redoing what we saw, I will completely scrap it. I will scrap the idea that it was paranormal. That's just kind of how, you know, we seem to function as a team as well. If we can do what we saw, we always get rid of that evidence.
Right, and that's another thing that I'm glad that we all. So I just muted Alex's mic because he was talking to someone. And that's another thing I agree with that, and that's another thing that I agree that I like that we all agree on, is that we can go in and we agree on to try to debunk things first, instead of having someone like, oh, that's paranormal, and argue with you with that's paranormal. That's not something that really work the way that we function, that we run things. Or more, okay, let's try to debunk it. Let's figure out what the real explanation could be before we say that. Gremlin75 said a while ago, I did write that down as well, that Paranormal Files on YouTube is also a really good show. So I'll check that one out as well. I wrote that down. Thank you, Gremlin, for sharing. Have any of you guys seen that one?
I have not, no.
Heard of it? Alex? Oh, Alex, you're muted. You're muted, Alex. Sorry,
Hello?
I muted you. Hello, I can hear
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. I
that's
forget I just got new earphones. I forget that the mic is up here and not here.
Yeah, no, that's okay, because you were talking to someone, so I just muted your mic. Was all.
I was just making sure that Gremlin 75 was my buddy Brady in the other room, and it is him.
Okay.
So yeah, so he can make you a whole playlist of like paranormal, like ghost hunting shows.
That's cool. And do it, because again, like I watch them and I nitpick and find cool things that people do, and I like doing that. So I've been watching a lot of newer shows too, because I watch Ghost Hunters. I know their methods. I know the way they do things, and for the most part, I like what they do. And so now I kind of watch. I watch that. You know, I'm entertained from watching them, and like I like watching them. But now I like to watch other shows now too, to kind of find their methods, their ways of doing things, and what I like about them, and nitpicking about different things. So definitely give me all the episode or all the shows you got, and I'll watch them. I have the chance to. Always good to question anything that happens. Yep, 100% of the time, we are trying to debunk any claim and find the real explanation of what it could be.
And about the whole like
100%.
skepticism thing, like sometimes I kind of wish I was more of a skeptic, but honestly, I enjoy the feeling I get too much from it. That like
Right.
I'm always like really hopeful, like we're
Right,
actually
yeah, you're
like,
hopeful,
catch
but
something.
you really gotta fight yourself, and you've gotta
Yeah.
force yourself to believe it's not paranormal, to try to debunk it, and you gotta try to bring yourself back to reality and be like, okay, what could
Oh.
it be? And it can
Thankfully,
be tough
like,
sometimes. Like,
debunking-
for everyone who's
oh,
interested
sorry.
in paranormal, it's definitely tough. No, it's okay. It's just it's definitely for anyone who's interested in the paranormal. It's definitely harder to try to debunk because you want to be paranormal. That's what you're doing it for. You want to get paranormal stuff. You want to bring that stuff back to your clients. You're excited to find stuff, but at the same time, you do got to kind of force yourself and bring yourself to reality and be like, okay, it would be cool if we just heard someone stomp, but what fell? What could it have been? And then we gotta go from there. Self-control, I guess.
Thankfully, at least like debunking is fun in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the investigative work. It's the part we're trying to put together the puzzle. I mean, like trying to figure out. Okay, we heard this. What could it have been? What could it be? So that's cool. And you gotta think too is when you go into a client's home or a business or something, they usually aren't, on the paranormal side. So they're not always thinking of trying to debunk it. So when they say they hear this, or that, they think it's a ghost, but it could really just be, something that's not paranormal. Like it could just be something, an easy fix or something like that they don't think of because they're not on the investigative side. So they don't think of stuff like that. So you got to really be mindful of that as well when going into to investigate the client's home who's what's the word? That's confident, I guess, that their house is haunted, that they're, and your job is if you find it, you got to kind of try to change their mind sometimes, and try to tell them because they're very stubborn and believe that it's paranormal. Some clients are like that, so.
Yep, and I was going to say there's also some clients that are they want you to be able to debunk it because they don't want to deal with the idea of a haunted house.
Right, exactly. There's tons of different types, like you said, there's those that are like, I don't want it in my house, please tell me it's this. And
Yeah.
Yeah. But 100% of the time. Oh, any other questions you had, Brandon? I know we got on that about the shows stuff.
Yeah, so one area that you guys would like to investigate that we haven't gotten a chance to go to yet.
I have a couple different ones.
And it doesn't have to be where we live. Like, if you
Right.
can pick any place.
Oh, there's a lot of different places. I definitely want to investigate at some point an old prison. Like any old prison, I think would be really cool to investigate. That's something I've always wanted to kind of investigate.
I agree.
Reformatory
For
or something
me,
like that.
for me, it would definitely be Gettysburg, just because of everything that has happened in Gettysburg. So,
And that, remember, we're still working on trying to get there at some point.
yeah.
It's starting to get warmer as well. And Alex, go ahead.
I'm still not too familiar with all the places around here. I'm still in my first year of being on the East Coast. But like in general, like I want to keep trying to push back my record for like, oh, this is the oldest place I've investigated. Like this is the place with like the longest going record of activity. Like, oh, this building is 125 years old, and then go to a place that's 150 years old, a place that's had activity for flat 200 years. Like, just keep
Right,
pushing
and
and
that's
getting into older and older territory.
Right, that's really cool. And you
That's
go
so
somewhere and
good.
they're like, yeah, this has been built in early 1800s. You're like, wow, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. That's definitely fun too. Ahmad, do you have anything that you want to investigate that we haven't yet? Oh, I think she's in the bathroom. She yelled "Rinse hair," so she's still doing this. This was there. So we'll get that question in a little bit. 75 says, I don't watch a whole lot of paranormal or cryptic channels on YouTube. So many are obviously CGI or fake. Exactly, like we talked about earlier. I agree. But another good one is Small Town Monsters. They usually do Sasquatch stuff. Cool. Yeah, we're interested in that stuff too. A couple members on our team are interested in that stuff as well. And we're working on getting the Sasquatch and all that side of it going. So, also, have y'all checked out the Hinsdale House? It's like an hour-ish away from Jamestown. I'm very interested in going to the Hinsdale House, and we will be going there probably by fall. We had a date scheduled, and then it fell through because we had some other things come up on the team. But we're definitely looking to get that rescheduled sometime pretty soon. You know, it's getting warmer out now too. So, yes, we have talked about that, but I don't think anyone personally has checked that out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has anyone checked out the Hinsdale House
Nah.
personally? No. Something you're interested in checking out? Is it something that you're interested in checking out, Brandon?
I said Gettysburg and stuff. Although I would like to do some kind of investigation overseas. Like, I think that would be pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, were you
So, yeah, all the castles
you-
and stuff back there, over there.
Ghost hunting vacation?
I'm in. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go. Yeah, the Hinsdale House though, is that something you were interested? Are you interested in doing an investigation there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm pretty much interested in everything, anything and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the one
Alex, have you
place that
checked out the
I-
Hinsdale House? I know.
Yep.
Go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
No.
Oh no, you're good. You're just you're lagging slightly behind us, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I can even
no.
hear like a difference between your audio and his audio.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a lag, but it's okay.
Grumman says, "Yo, sweet Paranormal Files and Mindsea TV. Went there, and that place is crazy. I know I've watched some episodes of different people who've gone there, and it's definitely seems pretty intense. But I'm excited for that one. That's definitely one I'd say that's on my wish list for sure. I didn't add that one, but that's probably up there with the reformatory. I've heard a lot about that place, and it's not too far away. Not that that's gonna stop us, but." But Alex, I was gonna ask you. I know you said you're new to the area and stuff, but have you checked out the Hinsdale House or even heard of it?
No, I haven't. First I've heard of it.
Really? You
Yeah.
have to look it up on YouTube or something in your free time and do a little research on that place. You'll be interested. It is a pretty
Yeah, I
cool
can
place.
do that.
UK has so many crazy places that or anywhere involving World War II. That's cool. That's
Yeah, I don't know if
definitely-
I mentioned it to you last week, but I can't find my Western New York haunted places book.
Oh,
I've
no, you
looked
can't.
for it like 4 times and I can't find it.
Yeah, I have mine. I think I showed you last week. I'll pull it back out.
Yeah.
So our viewers can see it too. The book he's talking about. Really good book. tons of different places in there. Tons of different investigations, all over Western New York. All the places that are listed as paranormal from all the different counties. It's all listed by counties. Not sure if you can see it.
Is that the book that has Letchworth Village? Is that in there?
Probably. What county is that in? Do you know?
I have no idea. I think it's somewhere out by New York City, though.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not then, because this is I don't know, because this is just Western New York.
It's Rockland County. I don't. Yeah. See, I've only been here 4 years, and I still don't know.
Yeah, it's got
what Western New York is compared to everything else.
Yeah, it's alright. It's got Buffalo proper, Genesee County, Allegheny County, Cattaraugus County, Chappaqua County, Niagara County, Erie County, Orleans County, Wyoming County.
Yeah, the only place I've really heard a lot about that's even towards New York City would be like Letchworth Village. So
yeah, I mean, we can definitely look it up, and I research and stuff like that. I'm definitely interested in knowing more about it, but it's not in the book.
It's basically like a deserted, like it's like a residential institution, but as far as I know, it was also like a county at one point, and it's abandoned or something similar. I would have to recheck. I'm not entirely sure.
Right. You're back. All right. Hey, Heather, you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. So the question we were on that I was gonna ask you about, that we were interested in knowing was, let me find it. You remember what question it was, guys, that we were on? That I don't watch a whole lot of channels on YouTube. So many. Also, have you?
I know you were asking places that we wanted to go.
Yeah. What places are you interested in going to?
I don't have like a particular in mind, but I think it would be kind of cool to do like a lockdown overnight in like an old prison or an old asylum or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Same thing. That's one of the things I said too, was like a reformatory or something like that.
Yeah, where we could kind of
really
spread out and sleep in different areas and like
film
it.
Yeah, and it's really big, and then everyone could be in different areas. You wouldn't have to worry about interference or any of that, and it would give us a wide range to really investigate without running into each other. And I think it would be really cool. It'd be fun.
Natalie said she's out for that one.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll leave her outside. She'll be okay.
Yeah. Have you all checked out the Hinsdale house? Okay, crazy places. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had another one for you. I can't think of it right now.
Hinsdale Hub we did have scheduled, but because Wildwood got pushed back, they ended up becoming like the same weekend. So we kind of put out Hinsdale for now. They were both a little like pricey, not too bad, but we really didn't want to do two of those back to back.
Yep. So we ended up that'll be rescheduled at some point. We'll get in there.
What is the one we're trying to get into in June? Is it Greystone?
The one in June was Greystone Manor, yes.
And that we can do. We have the option of doing an overnight for that, so we just got to get that set up on a date in June.
Yep. Someone said the White Horse Tavern is another place I've heard of that's crazy. Just haven't seen anyone investigate it yet. It's in New York City, I think. I like the places where people haven't investigated yet, because that usually is better for us too, because not only are we the first team going in there, but they don't know much history or backstory on the place, as in like what could be there paranormal, like what could be there.
I definitely like the ones that people haven't been to because you don't know what to expect. And
Right.
You're not like looking for certain things that are heard. But at the same time, it is
Right.
kind of cool to do ones that people have gone to and had the same experiences that they have.
Right. Yeah. I like doing like ones that we haven't that no one's really investigated yet. Like Stockton Hotel was the client we had. I enjoyed working with them and doing that. That was one that it's probably one of my favorite ones because it was cool, and we were the first team to get in there, and they were really interested in finding out what was there and stuff. So it was really cool doing that one. That's ones that I like doing. Brandon, Alex, anything to add to that?
Trying to think.
Oh, wait.
I mean, honestly, like I do like the idea of going to a place that hasn't been explored, simply because you'll be the first person to experience that. Now, the ones that people have explored, I always try to not read anything about it besides like what our historian tells us, because I feel that way you kind of go in with, not really knowing what is happening in there, but later down the line, like for instance, when we watched the stuff about Wildwood Sanatorium with, I think it was Nick Groff and I can't remember the other lady.
Nick Groff and I can't either right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what her name was, but I didn't even know that he had investigated that place. So the fact that we went in there without really knowing that he had the same experiences that we did, I thought that was really cool because we found out after we had already been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the same thing you said to add on to that. When you said about watching the episodes that people have done the same place that we're going to afterwards, I agree, because you also go in with sometimes you tend to kind of want to hear certain answers and want to have certain experiences that you kind of predict them to, you kind of like make them happen almost, but it's really not that when it could be something else. So when you listen to something with a clean-headed, and you hear something that it sounds like over the spirit box or anything like that, in the same reason we do the Etsy method, which is a really good method that we do. But when you go back and you watch the episode, the same experience, it's definitely a lot more like wow, and you get goosebumps and stuff like we did with the Wildwood Sanitarium. And that's why we encourage the team not to watch any episodes or anything on a certain investigation that we're going to that could be famous and popular that many people have gone to. We encourage them not to watch that, only because we like to go in with a clean head, not assuming or thinking anything's going to happen. We never go into an investigation assuming we're going to get paranormal activity. We go in with the thought, well, okay, how are we going to be able to debunk this? So, and another cool thing too, to add on to what we've been talking about, you go into a place that has already been investigated and you're able to debunk something that a different paranormal team has said is really cool. Like a different paranormal team says, yeah, it's haunted, we can't explain this, and we come in and we're able to explain that. That's something really cool. So don't get us wrong. We do like to go to places that people have investigated in different ways as well.
And I would say even the opposite of that is true. Like going to a place that hasn't been investigated before, and like posting our findings and find that other people are also having the same experience after we've been there.
Exactly.
That would give me a sense of satisfaction.
Right. Yeah. Another cool thing too is when you can relate kind of with the client. Client comes up to you and tells you that she's been having these experiences, and you can relate and you have that same exact experience. That's really cool to be able to come back and bring that back to your client. Like, oh, we've had that same experience, in our time here. So. We're wrapping up pretty soon. On the 55-minute mark.
That was fast.
I know, it goes by quick. Again, guys, immediately following the podcast tonight, Caps, we have a meeting right after that. So you can stay right on here pretty much. I'll end the live, and then others can join us, and we will do that. Ma, would you like to send out a reminder in the group, letting people know that we have the meeting at 9? Try to be. I said just for them to try to be in there around by 9:15, because we won't get off right at 9 o'clock probably.
Yeah, my mom's out there, so I'll just have her log in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and she can sit with you.
Or I'll just take my laptop out there, and you can talk to us both.
Right. Right. We don't gotta look, camera pretty. I mean, it's a meeting with just us. It's not, anything. So. Heck, for all I could. Never mind. All right. Just let them know, Ma, that they can just join onto this link, and then they can join in any time. I won't throw them in the actual podcast. I'll keep them backstage until I end the live, and then we'll just do it right off here instead of starting a whole different link. You can just let them know to do it right off the link that I sent in the group. What'd you say? Your mic's muted. I can't hear you. Hello?
You're not talking to me, are you?
No. I think I heard my mom say something in the background out there.
I answered my own question. It's okay.
Oh, okay. No. Jason Halls was on live the same time we were. I got a notification that Jason Halls was live.
Yeah, I got it too.
Yeah. If it wasn't on here, I'd probably join his podcast or his live. But well, it was good. I had fun tonight, as always. That we do. Gonna try to find. Never mind, I can't do that. I'll be working Friday night and Saturday night. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me tonight with the Caps team. On Wednesday night, we'll be on here again, of course, next Wednesday, right here. Please like, subscribe, and share. Share this on your personal feed. Anywhere. Let your friends know. Get it out there that we have a podcast every single Wednesday on at 8 p.m., 8 to 9, every Wednesday. For joining. See you guys next week.